Hey, it's Scott Fox from ExpertWebsiteReviews.com. Today we're going to talk about ideas for deck designs. This is the website of Rich. Rich is a member at ClickMillionaires.com as well as a new customer of ExpertWebsiteReviews.com. That's where he ordered this customized website review because he's thinking about redesigning his website. He's had a lot of success with this business. It turned out it's growing and expanding, and, well, it's time for an update, so I'm here to help him. Hi, I'm Scott Fox from ClickMillionaires.com and ExpertWebsiteReviews.com. Rich, let's talk about your website, see what we can do to improve your usability, your e-commerce conversion, especially your email newsletter signups, and drive more sales towards both your proprietary products and the advertising you have on the site. Well, this site is obviously a busy place. I'm guessing, Rich, well, you know this. You said my site has a ton of great content, but it's dated and needs a complete facelift. You've already begun rewriting many of the pages. About 50% of your 400 pages have been rebuilt with more images, better headlines, embedded video, etc., but there's much more to do. Well, it sounds like you're on the right track. You recognize how busy this is. My guess is that you started this site several years ago, and you've kind of been adding things and adding things and adding things, and now it's gotten to the point where it's a little bewildering, honestly, to a new visitor such as myself. There's just so many things to look at. I'm not sure what you want me to do, and that's going to be kind of the theme of my review here, Rich, is figuring out some paths that you can offer that make it easy for your two types of customers to quickly head off in the directions that you want them to go. So we'll talk about that here as part of this expert website review. You also say that you want your new design to be way cleaner with way simpler navigation and more direct callouts to your target groups. Well, here's the two groups. Do-it-yourselfers, 1, and builders, 2. Do-it-yourselfers and builders. So those are the two target groups that I got that from reading through your site, but also here you've said it right out loud, and I think that the design needs to reflect these two different constituencies. So we'll talk about that in a second. Now, well, that's enough for the background. Let's go and let's talk about the site itself. Now, let's see. It's a good site, tons of stuff here, but you hired me to sort of pull it apart for you a little bit and help you see things that you're not seeing. So let's start at the top. I think you've got a strong logo. I like that. You've got a good slogan as well. Those are both pretty good. I don't have any big complaints about that. You've got a good URL as well. You're making money with the site, so you're way ahead of a lot of people. The devil's in the details here, and I think what this really needs, as you say, is a simplification. So let's talk about a couple things that I need to be fixed right off the bat, regardless of what you're doing. First of all, there's all this stuff over here, the subscribing to RSS and My Yahoo and blog lines. That's very dated, as I'm sure you know. I'd get rid of all of it, honestly. I don't think Bloglines even exists anymore. I used to be a big user of that, like in 2008, maybe, something like that. You have a YouTube banner here. That's probably worth keeping around. I buy that. But then you have quite a bit of empty space here, so it's worth prioritizing and really thinking about social media in general. Where are you investing? Where are you responding to customers? And probably more importantly, where are customers responding to you? Because you want to go where the customers are. So I would think about reprioritizing your social media outreach along those lines. The other thing that jumped out at me was, well, this builder database. I don't know how important this is, but it's just kind of shoehorned into the corner of your header here. And I looked at it. It's a search. Well, let's go look at it, actually. It's a search tool. And this was kind of funny because, as you can see, I entered 90210, which is right near me. And let's see. Oh, I see. Well, there's a usability thing. Last time I did it fine, but this time I'm a little distracted. That's not very good UI. Look, I don't want to learn more. I don't want to log in. I want to find builders. I think you got too many choices on there. Last time I did it fine. There we go. Okay, and I just thought it was funny because 90210 here, which is Beverly Hills, you've got somebody from Adelaide, New York showing up here. So you probably want to fix that. But the point notwithstanding, it's a good resource. But it's just stuck in the corner here, so I don't know how important this builder's database is to your business, but if it is important, it needs a lot more attention there. And by attention, I mean screen real estate. Now, let's go back to the homepage. That wasn't actually where I was going. I really want to talk about this Deck Insider. You identified in your form that you filled out at expertwebsitereviews.com that your #1 goal was to sign up for your newsletter. And you can see my notes here. I actually wrote, yes, that's right. Getting people on your email newsletter is by far the #1 priority for a site like this. And this promo needs a lot of help. First of all, these letters are so little. Build a better deck. Let me show you how. Well, you can't even show me those letters. I mean, so I'm just making fun here, obviously, but this promo, and it's all text, and a 5% coupon, I'm not sure that's enough to get anybody really motivated in these days of constant sales, right? So I think this whole block is pretty outdated. I'd rather just see this. You have a nice graphic here with your smiling face here on the Deck Insider. That's cool. What's the Deck Insider, right? So I would blow that up a little bit and just focus on get this super cool newsletter, and then whatever incentive you can offer. If it's 5%, fine. I'd rather see 10, 15, 20%, something that makes people move, right? You can still restrict it and limit it however you feel appropriate, but 5% didn't strike me as a particularly compelling offer. And if that is your #1 goal, which I agree that it should be, then I think the graphics and the incentive need to be pumped up. And then I also had trouble this bar here, get 5% coupon. It's the same color as the ad up here, so it's not clear to me. I guess that's what you click on, right? Let's see. Let's just test. I didn't test this before. And what do I do if I hit? Yeah, I guess you got to hit that, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. They obviously knew that was a fake email address. Weber's pretty clever. But this button needs to be more action-oriented, is my point. It needs to be a call to action that's not in the teeny tiny font that nobody can see. Okay, so those are pretty small particulars. Oh, by the way, you had some social media stuck in the corner up here. Not a bad thing, but I would kind of like to see those all put in one place with a design strategy and some thought put into it rather than just kind of shoehorned in here in the corner. And I don't even know what send means. What does that mean? Send. This is like a email sharing, I guess, but it looks like a Facebook tool. So again, some explanation or get rid of it. I mean, this is cluttered. This is cluttered. Same thing with this Google custom search. Search is a great tool, especially if you have 400 pages of content and growing. But it shouldn't just be stuck in here. You've got to decide, Rich. Here's the bottom line. You got to decide what your priorities are, and pick them and give them each adequate space. And I think you know this. I'm not trying to lecture you, but I think your priorities here boil down to getting the email address and then inviting in the 2 constituencies that we discussed and giving them each a path. Now, here's my big strategic thought for you. You have 2 disparate groups. They overlap, obviously, and they serve each other, but you've got homeowners and then you've got home builders or contractors, deck contractors. These people have very different needs, and they kind of are going to go in different directions. And it makes me wonder if this front home page, well, first of all, maybe it should be 2 different sites. Okay, now that's kind of radical given how much you've built already, but these really don't overlap that much. I know they overlap in you because you serve both, but these people don't often end up looking for the same things, I don't think. At least it may be the same thing, but they're coming at it from completely different directions. So two separate sites might be in order, or at least I'd like to see some sort of big gateway graphic here that says, right here it says, contractors, this way. Homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, this way. And people can kind of choose where they're going. I know that's tough to do, and you're going to have a talented designer, which I gather may even be yourself. But that's a disparate set of audiences, and they want different things. So right now it's all kind of lumped in here together, as you can see, with start with an idea and a little know-how, and then you've got a builder database over here, and then plans versus materials and calculators up here, and then forums, and it's kind of bewildering. And I think it would help you as an organizing principle to make it clearer. Contractors this way, do-it-yourselfers over here. And maybe that would be a fundamental split in the site and in your content that could make things easier for you instead of trying to cram everything onto one page. Okay, so that's my big insight. I don't know if that's all that exciting, but I think it would be useful for you. What this boils down to, kind of from a branding point of view, though, is a little deeper. I think you need to choose an identity, and maybe it's 2 identities. You're schizophrenic, but who you're serving and who you're prioritizing will make all your design easier. as opposed to trying to mix and match and serve both constituencies at the same time. And then it will lead to your branding and so forth. And you know, I think you understand where I'm going with this. We're trying to simplify it. I think that's the easiest way to simplify is decide this content is all over here and this content is all over here. And then they can have the appropriate navigation, advertising, upsells, and everything else in their proper context. Okay, next. So yeah, I was going to pick on this navigation. You know, this is way too much stuff, and it's hard to know the value of these things. You know, do I want to read your blog? Do I need pictures? Do I need video? What am I after? And what is media that is not covered by pictures and blogs? This is about you? Yeah, this is about you, right? So this is more like about us, not really media, because in most people's eyes, videos and pictures are media. So if this is about us, I think that's a totally valid thing to have on your site, but I would call it that. The login was the most confusing to me. As a customer, you know, this sign-in, there's no explanation as to what this is, and I don't know whether I would want to log in or not. And yet it has a very prominent place in your navigation, although your navigation changes here once you're inside whatever this is. And my guess is, because it says get listed, I'm thinking that this is for contractors, but I still don't know. Okay, here it is. We'll help our site visitors locate you by using our fine builder sheets. Okay, so this is only really for the contractors, right? So I would, again, this would go on the contractor side of the fence, or side of the deck in this case, I guess. This is not something that applies to the general public, and I don't like seeing logins like this as a customer because it makes me think like, oh, this site isn't for me, I'm not here, because most of your site is free, right? It's a free site informational site, and you're trying to sell things, so you don't want to put people off. The customer comes and say, oh, I have to log in. Well, I guess this site isn't for me. I'm not going to pay just to log in and see whatever's here. I just wanted some information. And putting that there by not making it clear that it's for the builders only, I think is going to hurt you. And the builders might not mind because they're here for business, right? They're going to get listed to get business, and for them, logging in, paying by logging in, or even paying to be in your database sounds to me like a business model for you. So it looks like those listings are free, but maybe in the Click Millionaires forum, we'll talk about sometime about how additional ways to extend your business here, and that might be one of them in terms of paid listings or a subscription-based membership or advertising for the builders to be on this site. Okay, next, calculators. You know, what calculators for what? I don't know. There's just way too many choices here. So I think if you head people down a path and then, like, you know, pictures alone is not enough. I think you need a little more context so that the pictures would be maybe under style of decks or under railings. I know pictures are a big selling point with this. I've looked at a lot of construction-related sites and for swimming pools and, you know, home repair and stuff over the years. And I know pictures are an important thing. So in general, as you said, I think it's a good idea to have more images, embedded video, things like that. Maybe a gallery is appropriate, but I kind of feel like with two navigations, this is too much, right? You've got a central reading and a store, and then all this across the top. My eye naturally goes to these because they're a lot bigger. So if this is what you're selling, I maybe will put this stuff up there and put these maybe more like in the footer or in a sub-menu or something. But my goal for you really would be to reduce the number of navigational entries because this is just a lot. Now you can go over here to the store. There we go. And now we're on, it looks like on a different platform, and this looks like a store, so that's good. You've actually got add to cart buttons, and these are product detail pages. See, we ship worldwide. Okay, and we can talk about this sometime. This navigation, I think, needs to be a lot larger. And it's very low contrast. You've got kind of a tan font on a beige brown background. That's hard for usability. I would make those bigger fonts and brighter fonts, contrasting more with the background. That's just hard to read. Hopefully your designers will pick up on that. And then there's this Titan building products. And that was one of the other places. When I was scrolling around earlier, you've got ads from Titan here. And then you've got ads from Home Depot and stuff. And then some more Titan. And then down here, which, oh, you can't quite see it, it's all just off the screen, but it says in the footer, a division of Titan Building Products. Now, to you, that may sound great, and I guess you are Titan Building Products, but to me, that was a little off-putting, honestly, as a customer, envisioning myself as building a deck, which I have done in the past. Well, not personally, but I hired somebody to do it. if you're a division of a certain building product company, that to me actually calls into question a bit of your advice. So I don't know if you want to do that. I know it makes you sound bigger, but it also makes you sound like not as objective to me. Now, if you're over on the contractor side of the fence, as I said, if there's two sites or two separate categories, contractors might appreciate that better. Oh, you're part of a big building company. It sounds big. I like the name, Titan Building Products. It's saying you've got a logo and a good font there, but it looks like something big. And I'm not sure that's the angle you want to be playing here. This is more a strategic brand positioning sort of question, but I kind of saw your site as like, oh, this is real info from a guy and contractors and helpful. It's kind of a community, not that it was all run by some big building products company, which again might just be you, but it sounds big, and it kind of made me question the value of the objectivity of the information. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Let's see now. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, another idea I had for you is that you have very prominent ad placement here. The Google ads, and they're throughout the site, which is normally, I think, a fine thing. I wonder, you said that you have modest revenue. I won't quote the numbers here, but that's not enough. I mean, that's real money, but not enough to make a huge difference in your life. I wonder if the site design might not be improved by removing those ads. If you're really making your money on the sale of your building products, then maybe you should focus on the building products. Or affiliate products. I guess you've got a Home Depot ad. I'm presuming that's some sort of affiliate. I see you're putting that on as retailers for your products. And if what you're really after is pushing your deck screws or your wood post anchor system, then maybe that's what you should do. These ads take up an awful lot of space to make the design hard, and your space is at a premium for you. I'm at the same time, I'm loath to leave them off because it's such easy money, right? But I just wanted to bring that out there as something you might not have considered. And if you are going to have ads, these do convert very well, these 300 by 250s that are in the middle of a page, but maybe they could be less intrusive. Maybe you do a leaderboard up here, or a skyscraper over on the side or something, and pick up ad revenue kind of around the edges and use the main central column placements for your own products or for just serving your customers better and pushing your own things like the email newsletter signups or getting the builders to sign up for the database or just having really good articles that don't have a bunch of Google ads in them. That's a value to customers, right? And gets people to come back. All right. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about here? I wanted to point out that once we scroll down, I liked this organization. This, I think, leading with the pictures is, I think, great. People are very visual, obviously. And this is bringing to life a lot of the things that you have crammed in up here. So I think your homepage needs some real serious thought. I don't think you need two navigations. I'd like to see, and I don't want a slideshow like this that isn't clickable. This is a big waste of space, in my opinion. I'd like to see, if it's got to be a slideshow, then at least make it clickable so I can go somewhere and say, oh, that's what I want, that deck right there, which this is not of any use. But I'd really rather see something more, a few good categories chosen like these. What are your top 3 goals? Something like this. Get the great, cool-looking newsletter here. If you're a contractor, go over here. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, check everything out over here. And that's kind of your 1, 2, 3 lineup. And then each of those has a landing page, which is kind of a sub-home page in a lot of ways, but which is optimized for that audience. And that can be very complex very quickly, I understand, but you asked, so that's what I would try to do. And either way, your reliance on visuals here, I think, is appropriate, and I would keep doing that. You said in your form that you're going to have more images. I think that's probably on your interior pages because you've got lots here. I'd be careful design-wise. You have so many things of this same, what is this, about a 150 by 150 square, and these are like, roughly the same, all these squares. It makes it kind of hard to read, actually. And I would try to, maybe do, the graphics are nice, but maybe you could take, some of this text, like benches, pergolas, and more, is good for search engine optimization, right, to have those links. But you might also try having a designer do these graphics instead of just having stock photos as you've got here. Like this one looks like it still has somebody's watermark on it. which is not very cool. But having some overlay on there that says like deck maintenance in a nice font, so it really pops what this is about, and that looks a little more custom than this simple black bordered box that's enclosing standard size stock photos. I think you can do a little nicer and fancier with that, with some better fonts, some 3D effects, or shadows, whatever. A designer could knock that out for you, and you could get a set of all these done for not a big amount of money. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, we're 20 minutes already. Wow. Okay, well, that's probably as much as we've got time for. I hope some of that is inspiring and interesting to you. You've got a lot to work with here, so I have a couple recommendations for you to follow up on this if you'd like. First of all, come on back into clickmillionaires.com, into the lifestyle business forum we have there. I'd be happy to coach you some more, as would the moderators and the other members there. If you would like even more, I got to say you're a great candidate for upgrading your membership to our Masterminds forum. I'm there more often, like every day, and we could really work through this as well as with our team there. There's a lot of great people from all over the world I think that you would enjoy meeting, to help really figure this out and make it happen for you. You are a Click Millionaire. You're doing this. I checked out a little of your background, and I saw on the clickmillionaires.com forum today that you're actually expanding already and thinking about 2 sites. Because of your product line's been picked up by more stores, so congratulations on that. But it sounds like you've really got a thing going here, so Masterminds is where we really hang out and work through issues like this, and if I can be of help to you there, please let us know. We'd be happy to have you. So that's what I've got for you today, Rich. I hope that's helpful. Congratulations on the success of Ideas for Deck Designs. It looks good, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next version and looking forward to helping you along the way. And everybody else, if you're watching this video later at clickmillionaires.com on my blog, or maybe on YouTube, or over on expertwebsitereviews.com, please do consider ordering your own video like this. I'd be happy to do one for your website. We can focus on design and usability, or product strategy, or even search engine optimization to help your site attract more traffic. And if you like these videos a lot and are thinking about joining the forum, if you upgrade to the Masterminds forum like I was just talking about for Rich, I'll do one of these for you for free. So there you go. I'm Scott Fox from clickmillionaires.com and expertwebsitereviews.com. Thanks to my friend Rich from ideasfordeckdesigns.com. If you're looking for deck help, you know where to go. Thanks for listening.